Garrett.
And this is Eli.
And this is Sports Jabber with the Lefties.
And if you guys enjoy our videos, go ahead and like and subscribe and comment down below topics for future podcasts. So today we're going to be asking ourselves a question and talking about the Jets in it as well. Who needs to go? Is it Gase or Darnold? So I'm going to ask you this first. Who needs to go? Is it Gase or Darnold?
Well, I think obviously, then personally both. But if I'm going to go with one choice, I'm going to go with Gase. We'll see what he does, how long he makes it throughout the season. The issue is, I think the question is, so what do we do with this, right? So, is he going to make it the whole season? Very rarely do coaches get fired during midseason. This will be in a couple of cases. So I know all the fan base says, hey, let's just get rid of him now. But you can't get rid of him now. He's only played one game.
It was a terrible game.
It was. But yeah, I think it would be two options. So I think here's how I think we look at it. Number one is he's a bad coach. He's just a bad coach. I don't think there's any way about it. I think everybody who's just an NFL football fan knows that he's not a good coach. He had one good year with Peyton Manning as a quarterback.
Not even the head coach, the offensive coordinator.
And all of a sudden he's an offensive guru. And yet, so there are 4 rankings, and we were 31st in 2 of them and last in
the other 2.
The other 2, and that was last year's offense. So now we're having the same players. I think we got a little bit worse. And we got rid of Robbie Anderson, and so I don't think we've improved our offensive line a little bit, but we've gotten worse, and we think that we're going to.
We got Chris Herndon back, who I think is better than our tight end situation last year.
Yeah. So I was not a fan of them hiring him to begin with. Some people are. So obviously, if you're a Gase fan, then you're not going to like this podcast, and that's okay. But I wasn't. I have an analogy. I kind of feel like I was telling you a little bit about this morning. I feel like Chris Johnson. Here's what I feel like what's going with the Jets right now. Just imagine all the Jets fans. We're like, a little community, and there's this house up the block with these rich people, and Woody Johnson is the father, and Chris Johnson is the son, a 16-year-old son. And the father Woody Johnson goes, here, you know what? You just got your driver's license. You're 16 years old. I'm going to give you a Porsche 911 Turbo. And just enjoy. And now you got the 16-year-old kid who just got his license, speeding around the neighborhood, doesn't know what he's doing, has no experience driving, dodging animals and kids and everything like that. And he's just creating havoc in this neighborhood. And we're stuck with this. And now we're just saying, okay, we just got to make it until the father comes back. And that's kind of how I feel about Chris Johnson's decision-making with this team. I don't think he knows what he's doing. What's his resume to run a team?
He has none. In the 4 years, he has like a really bad record.
Yeah, but I'm saying just because his father was rich and his brother bought a team, so he gets to run a team. His decision-making is just getting rid of McCagnon after the draft. Who does that? Why would you don't keep a general manager and then after his draft
and free agency?
Yeah, and then you say, okay, now we're going to get room for this year. That makes no sense. And keeping the general manager when he was horrid, and getting rid of Todd Bowles, which was also not that good either. They both weren't good. And you only get rid of one, and then you get Gase. And I think Gase just said whatever he said to get the job. I think the issue is the problem. And then I'm going to let you speak a little bit here too about Darnold. Just let me finish this one point, and then I'm going to stop talking. Is the reason why I think Gase got hired, my personal view is that what happened was McCagnon wanted total control of the coaching hiring. I don't know why, but he wanted it. So he wanted Greg Williams as the defensive coordinator. And most quality coaches, when they come aboard, they're going to say, listen, I want to pick my own offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. I want to pick my own staff. And so, of course, they didn't want the job because they didn't want to have – why would they want – if I'm a good coach, why would I want to come and you tell me who my defensive coordinator is and offensive and tell me who I have to hire? And so Gase came in and he said, okay, fine, I'll take him. Gase just said what he needed to do to get a job. And so he got hired. And now we're in the mess that we're in right now.
Yes. I also think it's both. And I think Gase is the major problem. But since you already talked about Gase and I feel the same, I'm going to talk about Darnold a bit. Darnold has not showed me anything where I think he will be a good quarterback. In his first 3 seasons, he has a winning record last year. I will give him that. He went 7-6. but then he's just terrible. Like, his stats, he threw 17 touchdowns, 15 interceptions his rookie year, 19 touchdowns, 13 interceptions the previous year. So the only good thing that I actually like about him stats-wise is that he's gone 7-6 last year as a starter. That's the only thing that I can say was good about him.
Well, so yes, so I agree. I mean, I don't think Sam Darnold is a starting quarterback. Listen, first of all, I'm tired. There's two philosophies. Some people say, hey, some people say you got to sit a quarterback for like a year or two, let him get experience, and then come to play. Look at all these guys. Look at all these young guys. Listen. I'm from the philosophy of you're either good or you're not good. I really don't believe that you all of a sudden become. I mean, yes, there's some rare examples. I'm sure you can find examples of quarterbacks that become good, but to me, you're either good or you're not. I mean, that's it. You either come out and you're good or you're not. I mean, look at all these quarterbacks that are supposed to be good. Mahomes,
He's out a year.
What?
Mahomes out a year.
Had a year what?
He sat a year.
He sat a year, but I don't think that he would have been good no matter what.
Yeah, but I think
what about Watson?
I think it gave him time to learn the playbook.
What about
Watson? Watson did not sit his first year, but he didn't play the full year because he tore his ACL, I think it was, and he only played like half the year.
What about Seattle quarterback?
Russell Wilson. I remember he came in as a third-round pick, and he blew away in training camp, and he got the starting job, and he looked amazing throughout the season, and then he basically became Russell Wilson.
What about Lamar Jackson?
Lamar Jackson did not start for a majority of the games. He started for seven games.
Yeah, cool.
But then he brought them to the playoffs as soon as he came in.
That's as soon as he came in, because
they had a losing record. They were like 4-5.
But their rookie, they were good. I mean, their rookie. It doesn't take 3 years. He's had 2 full seasons to be good, and he's just not. He's regressing, whether that's the coach or not. But the thing is, I mean, obviously, I don't think Gase. So what are we going to do? So do you get rid of Gase, or do you? So I would say probably
get rid of both.
Yeah, I would keep him for the full season because, well, here's the thing. So if you're upper management or if you're a fan, if you believe that Greg Williams is a potential head coach, then I would say after 2 or 3 games, if the team just looks like they don't know what they're doing, they don't know how to play football, then I would get rid of Gase and give Greg Williams, 3/4 of a season to see, can you do it? And then if he does good, then you just sign for another 2 or 3 year extension and see how he does. If you're an owner and you say, you know what, I'm not having Greg Williams as my coach, it doesn't matter, then I would say you might as well just keep Gase. There's no point in firing him to put Greg Williams in if you don't plan on having Greg Williams be a head coach, because you know what, and then you'll get a better draft, and this way you have a better chance of getting another quarterback. So you might as well just keep Gase. I wouldn't take Gase out unless you feel like you want Greg Williams as your head coach.
Well, I think Greg Williams will win us games. That'll ruin our draft position.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think he's a better coach. But the question is so, and I don't know this. I mean, as you as a fan or whatever, you can put in comments below what you feel. Do you feel that, and it's really about the ownership. Do they feel that Greg Williams is a potential on the list of people who they want as a head coach next year? Now, if they feel that way, give him a trial run. Let's see what he does. If not, I would just keep Gase through the whole season, and then he'll be gone. I don't see Gase surviving this year. There's just no way. I mean, unless something happens. I mean, and it's not an overreaction from one game, because I watched him last year, and I watched him from Miami games. This is not an overreaction.
He runs on 2nd and 15. I don't understand him. He's so predictable. He will literally run on 2nd and long, then he'll call screens on 3rd and long. I don't understand what goes through his mind when he calls a play.
I know.
But if you've watched yesterday's game, Sam Darnold looked like a rookie. He was making mistakes left and right. That interception, that deserved to be an interception.
Well, that's why I don't think Sam Darnold, on your point, I don't think, and we were having this conversation a little bit earlier, I don't think Sam Darnold is a starting quarterback. And the reason why is listen, they have the argument, they say a good quarterback, some people have an argument, I read things where a good quarterback, you still need good players around you. I say, here's the difference, okay? So we're giving this example. So he doesn't have good wide receivers. They're not very talented, the Jets wide receivers, right?
Nope.
So if you have a very, very talented staff of wide receivers, they can separate from the defensive players and get enough separation so that if you're an average quarterback, you have a big window to throw to, right? So you could, if you're a great quarterback, that's perfect. But if you're an average quarterback with a good wide receivers, you look better than you are because you have a bigger window. Now, the Jets do not have good wide receivers, so they can't separate well from the defensive staff. So because they can't separate, now Darnold has to be very, very precise. I mean, he only has a tiny little, and he's not an accurate passer. See, like Aaron Rodgers would be able to. So Aaron Rodgers, so a really accurate passer will elevate an average offensive between both the line, getting the ball out quicker. I mean, he holds the ball forever, so he'll pass the ball quicker out. He'll get the pass to the wide receiver better. So to me, a good, talented quarterback will make the plays, but he's just not talented enough. Sam Darnold would be okay. I think Sam Darnold would be okay if he had a really talented team around him.
Yes. He's kind of like a Jared Goff, in my opinion, who, if he has good players around him, he'll win you games. But if he doesn't, he's not going to elevate the team.
Exactly.
So I want to go back to his decision-making, though. Why would he roll out, cross-body on one foot, throw into a double-covered guy? I didn't understand that pick. Why would he throw that pass?
Well, he's not getting coached well. So he's not progressed. Like, I don't know, Gase not, like, they're not
telling him.
Hey,
because that's obviously, I mean, that's a rookie mistake. And also, he rolled out to the right, and he took a sack by running out of bounds.
I know.
Why didn't you throw it away? I didn't understand that at all. He literally took a loss of 4 yards for no reason, and he ruined the drive.
Yeah, so he's not. I mean, we want him. I mean, when he was drafted, I was jumping out of my seat. I thought he was going to be, a stud quarterback, and so I wanted him. So I'm not going to say, but I think we just have to accept it that he's just. And it's going to be harder for some people. Some people get, angry. They say, well, no, it's Gase, it's a quarterback, it's thing. Listen, if you're good, you're good. And if you're not, you're not. That's the bottom line. If he was a really good quarterback, okay, he would be more accurate. He would be better. He'd be smarter. He would be a better quarterback. Now, would he be amazing? Maybe not with that team. That team, obviously, nobody's arguing that. But the way he looks after this is his third season, he's just not a good quarterback.
No, he is not.
I mean, he'll have games. I'm sure he'll have games this season where he'll look really good, and you'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, here he goes. But then he stinks it up again. And then listen, you can't have 2 or 3 good games and say, okay, you're progressing. This is year 3. So I mean, I agree. I think they're both going to go.
Well, the Jets look so bad that Yahoo Sports made an article titled, "Are the Jets tanking for Trevor Lawrence?"
It's tough to be a Jets fan.
It is. They were so bad. They played, honestly, there's 2 teams that played like the worst teams in the league. I think it was about a tie. The Jets and the Cleveland Browns both played so badly. They looked exactly the same. Mayfield and Darnold. Mayfield was doing the exact same thing as Darnold. He was rolling out when there's no pressure, throwing inaccurate passes, making rookie mistakes. They're both being coached terrible, and they both are bad, and they were both overrated when they came out.
Well, I tell you what, as I always say, that with being a New York Jets fan, our Super Bowl is the draft. That's our big day because we always have a good draft pick. We don't pick well, but we have high ranks, so we have potential to get a good player. That's our fun because it sure ain't the playoffs in the Super Bowl.
Well, the Giants haven't played yet. The Giants might stink it up too. They play the Steelers tonight on Monday Night Football.
I mean, you guys missed a lot of the people over here because we did a podcast and we kind of went through the New York Jets schedule. You can take a look at that.
We were very wrong.
Yeah.
I already tell by the first game.
We had the podcast. If you guys want to take a look, I think it was like last week.
Yeah.
And we were looking at the schedule. And
I'll put a card up.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'll put a card up if you go watch it.
Okay.
Somewhere over there.
Somewhere over there.
Or there. I don't know.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I don't know what I must have been. I think I hit my head before I started the podcast. I must have fell down.
You said they were winning the division, going like 10-6, and I was laughing.
You know, as a fan, I always hope, and then it's like that one show,
Family Guy scene.
Family Guy, where Stewie's a Mets fan, and it's like, oh, the opening pitch, boom, and it's a home run, and they're like, oh, season over. Like that's kind of what I feel like. I get all excited every year, and then they play the first game, and I'm like, okay, next year. All right, let's look at the draft. So we'll see, but he's just not good. It's just
Darnold.
It's just
I think
very
Darnold's
frustrating.
ruined. I think he had. We just ruined him.
I think we did.
You put him into a situation with no offensive line. They should be rebuilding first. And like that's what Joe Douglas
And then the
doing.
problem is now so let's say you get a new, and that's the problem. So now we get a new coach. After
We're better
this
than
year.
we were though than when we drafted Darnold. We're in a better position now than when we drafted Darnold.
Yes, I think our general manager I agree with everything he's doing right now. So I think we're heading in the right direction. But the problem is so now next year, if you get a new coach, he's already had 3 years of bad learning. Can you get that out of? I mean, how many quarterbacks after 3 years all of a sudden become these stellar quarterbacks? I just don't see it happening. Listen, Aaron Rodgers sat for a couple of years and we're like, oh, well, he sat for a couple of years. That's why he was so great. He was great because he's a great quarterback. He's accurate because he's accurate.
He doesn't play like Favre.
Yeah, but he didn't learn from Favre. And if he played game one when he came out of college, he would have been a great quarterback. You don't teach accuracy. You are accurate or you're not. You're a smart quarterback or you're not. You can't teach that stuff. You're either good or you're not. You can fine tune things so you can be a really good quarterback to a great quarterback. But if you're if you're average after like a year, you're not going to be.
No, you're not, because like basically Sam Darnold's career in a nutshell, it was the first play he played, right? Cross body throw, roll out to the right, under pressure, cross body throw, pick six. That's his career, right? He's always under pressure. He rolls out and he makes the stupidest decisions. But I think it is the coaching that ruined him, because at the end of the first half, you saw them playing hurry-up offense. Yes. And yes, the Bills were playing prevent defense, but I saw him flourish in that hurry-up offense. And he was actually being more accurate and he was playing a lot better. I think if the coach actually learned about his players and modified the game plan to them, then Sam Darnold could have potential to be good. But Gase is just ruining him. Yes. I think we ruined him.
Yeah, I think we so. So anyway, so all you people starting to watch us, we're gonna every game, as grueling as it is, we're gonna talk about it after each game, either on that Sunday or that Monday, and that's it. And then once or twice a week, we'll kind of talk about something about the Jets or even some other things.
Just that's the NFL or sports in general.
Sports in general. We're doing a back-to-back podcast just because we're so emotionally upset about this season
it's
so
very
far.
Frustrating.
It's very frustrating, and all.
I had high hope.
High hope.
Well, actually, no. I had low expectations, but holy, that was just.
Yeah,
that was just like I didn't
you put
think
the bar low, and then it's just
like when I did in that video earlier. When I said 9-7, I was being optimistic. I really thought like 6-10 or something. Now I don't even know if we win 4 games.
I think that Indianapolis
might be a win because they look pretty bad.
Well, that's going to tell the season where it's going to go, because San Francisco, we're not winning. I just don't think so. And San Francisco lost, so they're going to be. They need a win.
If we go 0-3,
so the question is, okay, so that's a loss. Let's say so now we're 0-2. Indianapolis game. Where do we do with that one? And that's in Indianapolis. So if we lose that game,
we're done, because that's 0-3. You can't come back from that.
Then who knows if Gase is still here? But I think he'll stay the whole season.
So if you guys enjoy our podcast, go ahead and like and subscribe and share our videos to a friend who you would also think would enjoy our future podcasts.
So this is Jarrett.
And this is Eli.
And this is Sports Jabber with the Lefties.